I'm gonna do mine now. So let me first, let me open Photoshop. Let's create a new file now. Let's make it 2000 by, I like to design in a 4x5, stuff like this. And to make the grid, what I do on Photoshop is, let's go to, where was it, view, guides, new guide layout. In here you can make the layout, right, the new layout, and let's make it 4x8, something like that. I feel it works. I like it. Margins, let's give it a bit more margins. So on the top, let's give it 35, and the bottom 35 in everyone, stuff like that. That works perfect. One nice shortcut is control the dot and comma, right? So you can put on and off the grid. Let's do now, I'm gonna lock the grid. Let's go to view, guides, lock guides, and they are locked now. And we can switch them on and off. Let me know, guys, if you have some more questions that I would like to get answered. And now I'm gonna show you a real cool use for ChatGPT. I'm doing a made up post, doing a I just give it context, and I straight up tell it what I'm about to do. And what I'm trying to do now is trying to come up with the information, right? I don't want to spend too much time thinking about the names of the artist on the copy and all of that. I just want to focus on the design, right? So I'm just gonna say to it, I'm doing a made up poster for a made up event. Could you come up with the information for the poster? That's it. So I'm doing a poster for a made up tattoo convention for the purpose of doing a poster in this design style. Just I know that the convention is gonna be called Blackout, and it's gonna be for black work tattoo. So it's gonna be name of the convention Blackout, and it's gonna be about all black work tattoo. Could you give me information and copy to fill the design grid, like artists, names, styles, nationalities, etc. And let the AI work. There, location, Zurich, Switzerland. You see, there's a nice, I hadn't thought of that. I didn't thought of a schedule, right? But it's nice to have a schedule because it gives me a nice excuse to make this little information to put on a grid, right? So this is really cool. Even it comes up, that's crazy. That's great. That's great, right? So let's use this information to populate the poster. Let me do a solid color. Let's do it. And I don't like to work in pure white. I like to do like a semi off white, something like this. Let's do that. Let me change the grid color just a bit. View, guide, new grid layout. Something more visible, something like this. There, perfect. So now let's start place our information. So let's start blackout. Put everything in black. I'm gonna try to do everything black and white, no no images for the time being. I may use something at the end to close it, but let's try to make it entirely typographic, right? Let's just start playing with it, you know. Also, for placing things on a grid, for example, let's try to make it modular, you know what I mean? If you start to place your elements like the beginning of the text, the first line of the text, if you're gonna start placing it like, for example, on the lower right vertex of any segment you start designing, then keep that for the rest of the design, right? Or try to use it as a variable. For example, for the title of the convention, I'm gonna place it here, but maybe dates and really small numbers, I place them on the top right part of the grid. So make that distinction follow along all of the design, right? If you place like a small number on the top right side of the grid, then don't put similar elements in another part, right? No, I didn't read that book. I didn't read it. I'm just going along what I feel grids are and what I studied, right? But what I studied was heavily influenced by that book. So yeah, because my teachers recommended it a lot. So one cool thing we can do is try to make it like square, like 180, right? 180. And now let's divide that make it by flat dividends of that number, right? Sorry if my English is not correct, but let's divide that by 4. So that's what, 180, and you can divide straight from the point, the size thing for the typography. So I go 180/4, right? And I get the exact divided by 4. So now it's modular, right? And you get like more precise step down from the font, right? The size of the font, and you are not just doing it by eye, and you can sort of support yourself in something that is gonna be modular, right? Here I'm just making like a made up separation, because I'm gonna do like, for each one of these I'll signal like where they're from, right? That like their countries, and then like this separation from these two I'll put another hierarchy level that's like realism.work, like what's the style of tattoo they do. So I came up with that sort of separation, right? Or remove the grid, and every now and then also try to remove the grid to see how your design like sort of looks, right? we should do this like even smaller, because it's gonna compete with the hierarchy level of the what tattoo style that you do. So that's stuff you need to think about, so they don't compete. Like you need to, the hierarchy levels need to flow together, right, and don't compete with each other. And like that you start to develop some. But do you see how I start to draw the, like, the correlation in the information using the grid? It's not like just sitting in a grid, you know. Yeah, I never design like this. I do much more intuitive take, but because I've done this 1,000 times in Unity, right? It's almost intuitive now. And some designs sort of ask for it also, depending what you're doing. Remember, I like to do that squinting my eyes. So I squint my eyes and I try to see the hierarchy, right? If I see the different pieces, like, I don't need to read them, I just need to see the shapes, right? And I see boom, boom, like what, where, who, and then I see details and I see, oh, okay. So I think I'm pretty happy with this, but let's make it like crazy, like extra crazy. I would need more one block of copies, so I'm gonna tell ChatGPT that makes me another. You sort of see, right, how we have all the different hierarchy levels of the poster are clearly noticeable, right? There is no thing of the poster that looks wildly the same as other parts, so all the hierarchy levels are recognizable, right? And you see it's all kind of just setting up the grid and start to playing around with it, see how it fits the needs of your design, right? This one it's just at the brink of exploding, but I'm overdoing it a bit, right? I'm over putting information over it just to show you, right? That's also nice to see the positive and the negative, as Omar is saying, because it lets you see like the difference in the negative space and allows you to see it with a different set of eyes. Ooh. The negative is kind of crazy. I think I like the negative more. I don't know, my guy. I really like the result. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. I can see it being one of the most shared Pinterest bullshit. You know, it hits that sweet spot of. I like it. I like it. I want to see you guys do stuff like this. Drop the texture. Leave that for the end. Now it's not the time for that. I just did it to fuck around and because you want to see it, but design works regardless. So yeah, go at it, have fun with it, play with it, like try beautiful. Play with it and yeah, just have fun with it. Like do the grid and start mixing and matching, move things around, see how they correlate. You saw how the poster changed entirely when I moved the top part to the bottom, right? Because we have like this nice we have like this nice like heavy part at the bottom that sort of breaks down, and we have like the main focus of information here. Then from there it flows that vertical line up to the second hierarchy, which is the date. Then it comes down to the artist's names, and then at the bottom to the bullet points. And I think I really like it. Oh my god. And the black at the end, senseless, like really fucking nailed it with negative. That's another kind of tricks that you should do always for your posters. try to first test the negative, as bro said. Test the negative for your posters and also flip them around. I don't remember what was the shortcut for this here. I think it was, no, I don't remember. But flipping them around allows you to see them like with a fresh set of eyes each time. But we'll do that in another time, in another tutorial or process video, whatever the fuck. Yeah, my guys. Hope you liked it. I really enjoy doing this and allowing you to maybe see into this part of the process. Maybe the ones that didn't go to uni, maybe never really get to experience this and do this kind of exercises. So take this really, take the opportunity, right? Make a grid. And the point with this, you need to make a bunch of them to till it sinks, right? Till it sinks and you really internalize the information. So do a bunch, like grab grids and start making cool posters, cool compositions. Maybe they don't need to follow like a strict guideline of what it should look like or what is it for, right? But start to playing with them and thinking in terms of hierarchy and delivery of information, really, right? Because ultimately this is what this is, right? And don't worry, we'll go back to the more artistic thing, more artistic things later down the line. And let's see by the end of the year if we can merge it all together and really develop ourselves as designers and creatives in this day and age, my guys. So yeah, that was everything. Hope you liked it. See you in the next stream. Hopefully, go follow the Instagram, follow the YouTube. You already know how it is. Talk peace. Wish you conflict, my she. See you later. Peace, guys.